All right, it is now the 5 o'clock hour, which means you are now listening to BingWorthyRadio. We are back this spring, as you guys know, Tuesdays at 5, so make sure you're tuning in every Tuesday at 5, only on 89.5 WJMU Quad. We also have a video podcast as we speak. Right now we have 2 cameras set up in the studio recording our show, one in front of us and one off to the side. So if you miss a Tuesday or you prefer a more visual BingWorthy Radio, then go ahead and head to YouTube and just search BingWorthy Radio.
Yeah, in our video podcast, you'll be able to see the trailers we play, pictures of the actors, stills from the titles we pick, and much, much more.
Alright, so for any new BingWorthy Radio listeners, BingWorthy Radio is the place to find your new BingWorthy obsession on all your favorite streaming services. We're your hosts, Faith.
And Nico.
And here on BingWorthy Radio, we will be discussing shows and movies that you can stream on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and HBO Max. We also have a segment led by Nico called Behind the Streams.
Yeah, so in Behind the Streams, I'll be diving deeper into the films that we talk about to give you an idea of what to expect when you watch them. We'll let you know what to look for and even some inside scoops on how they were made. And we hope that after you listen to this segment, you can become the film nerds that we are. We know a lot of the time we enjoy binging these films and shows just to pass the time, but we're here to give you guys a chance to really appreciate the art that is filmmaking.
During these weird times, we have all been spending a lot of time at home, which means a lot of binge watching. It can be hard to choose what to watch when we have an overwhelming amount of choices of titles on streaming services, especially now. It's getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, they just keep adding
Apple
new
TV,
ones.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, we gotta catch up. We only have like 4.
Yeah. Well, I feel like adding more, I don't know. Adding more is then also so much for us, too.
Yep.
And plus, like, I feel like Netflix, Hulu, I don't know so much about Amazon. Maybe we could switch Amazon out for, like, Apple TV, because I think Apple TV is getting more popular now.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I would say I watch more on Apple TV than I do on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, plus Amazon Prime, you have to, like, pay for stuff now. It's not like you get everything. There's only, like, a certain amount of stuff that you get, and then most of it you have to, like, rent.
But that's how Apple TV is, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to rent stuff
See,
on
I
there,
don't have
too.
Apple
But they
TV.
also have free stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, maybe we'll do a little switcheroo soon. But if you're like me, we always revert to watching the same old shows and movies over and over again. Our show is to help listeners to be aware of what is new, what is worth watching, and what hidden gems can be found on our favorite streaming services. It can be hard to find something you will like when all you know about the show or the film is the 3-sentence summary Netflix gives you. BingWorthy Radio is here to watch and review, so you no longer have to spend 10 minutes looking for something to watch, only to end up watching The Office. Without further ado, let's get into this week's pick for BingWorthy Radio, only here on WJMU 89.5 The Quad. It's hot in here.
Yeah, I'm sweating. I'm looking at the camera and I'm just shiny.
I know. Anybody that watches this on YouTube, please excuse how, like, greasy we look right now. It's because we're sweating our butts off in here. It gets really hot in the studio sometimes. So if you go and watch us on YouTube, please excuse how shiny we look. But for today, we kind of did a little something different as well. I know last time we were in here, we reviewed the movie Fresh, which was like a horror comedy, which is something we don't usually.
Yeah.
That was a new kind of genre. And also, usually we watch movies just because it's easy to watch a film at some point during the week, whereas like a show you have to like watch multiple episodes of. But we switched it up today and we actually found a show on HBO Max that was pretty funny. We watched like 4 episodes today.
It had a really good cast too. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people that you definitely recognize, but you know, it's no like Brad Pitt or someone like that, but it's a lot of big name like comedians that you'll definitely recognize watching it.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, but the show that we're talking about is called Our Flag Means Death, and it is now streaming on HBO Max. I believe it's 10 episodes. You can watch all 10 right now. It came out in March, I believe. But it is a comedy. That's what it is, straight up. A historic comedy, I think is what I was kind of reading. It was described as, because it's based on a true story, which Nico will talk about kind of later in the show. But I'll give you guys a little bit of a summary, and then we can listen to the trailer, and then we'll listen to some music and talk more about it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So, just a little quick summary is, the year is 1717. A wealthy landowner, Stede Bonnet, has a midlife crisis and decides to blow up his cushy life to become a pirate. It does not go well, based on a true story. So with that, let's listen to this chaotic, I would say, trailer right here. All right, let's take a listen.
Blackbeard, Captain Kidd, the Gentleman Pirate.
Well, the first two are like very, very talented pirates.
But the last one is the scariest of them all. Instead of killing with weapons, he kills with kindness.
Oh, right, so you're the gentleman pirate then?
Well sussed.
The rumor is you upended your entire comfortable life to become a pirate.
I got bad news for you, genital pirate. Pirating is not for everyone. It's a really dangerous lifestyle.
Hello everyone, I'm Blackbeard. Huge fan, sir. Huge. We're gonna go on up there and we're gonna cause some havoc. How violent do we expect this to get? Note the gusto! Why aren't you taking notes?
I'm just looting this library, but I'm replacing all the books I've looted with ones I've already read.
You know how hard it is to find someone doing something original out here?
Do these outfits maybe feel like an error in judgment, or...
It's a power move. Make people feel underdressed, and suddenly you're the one in charge.
You're a lunatic and I like it.
We're swashbuckling. We're looting. Let's have fun with it. Come on. Give a man a warning.
That was your warning.
A lot of the guys are sweethearts deep down.
Oh, it's perfect.
They're just dealing with a fair amount of trauma.
Permission to blow them to hell, Captain.
And we're quite certain they're pirates?
Hard to say. One appears to be a heavy-set woman in a silk dressing gown.
Everybody hide!
A gentleman never arrives empty-handed.
I made tapas.
Tapas means little plates.
Yeah, you know about tapas.
So, I don't even know how to start off describing this show, because
it's very weird.
It's so weird, but it's so funny too. I think the thing that kind of like drew us in initially was that Taika Waititi's in it.
Yep.
And we love Taika Waititi.
I don't know how you can't.
So funny.
Yeah.
I think we did a review on Jojo Rabbit on here.
Yeah.
So that's probably his like most successful, probably most popular thing that I've seen of Taika Waititi. But I mean, he's had his hand in a bunch of. He actually was one of the directors for The Mandalorian too.
Yep.
Remember, for the first season, I believe. But yeah, I think he wrote, directed, and starred in Jojo Rabbit, which was like a comedy about Nazi Germany, which is such a great movie. If you have time to go watch it, it's so funny. But he's kind of got that Quentin Tarantino vibe going on, where he like stars in all of his own stuff.
Yeah, except he's like a main character in a lot of his stuff, whereas Tarantino just kind of shows up every now and then.
Yeah, he just has like a cameo.
Yeah.
And he's like a really good actor too.
Yeah,
like
he is.
in Jojo Rabbit, he plays Hitler, and like a good funny one with that too. Like, I feel like that's kind of a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
To play a comedic Hitler, like. But so yeah, and I think that's what kind of drew us into this one is because he plays Blackbeard in this. And we were like, well, if it has anything to do with Taika Waititi, we're there.
Yep.
But he doesn't really come in until later in the show. Like, we were on the 4th episode, and he's finally kind of, like...
Showing up.
Mm-hmm. But so basically, the show was created by David Jenkins, which I kind of was doing some research on him. I didn't really find a lot, so I think this is his, like, first big thing that he's done. I think he's worked on one other show before, but I didn't recognize it. So this is a pretty good thing to follow up with, I would say.
Yeah. It's been doing pretty well so far, right?
Yeah. I've actually, the reason I like mentioned or wanted to watch this is because I've been kind of like seeing some stuff on social media about it, about a certain like aspect of it, which I'll kind of talk about in a second or in a little bit. But yeah, so I was like, oh, that kind of looks funny. I don't know, like. I feel like today we kind of just wanted something lighthearted also. Yeah. At first I was like, let's watch this 2003 movie on Hulu that's in Korean. And Nico looked at me and he was like, are you sure?
Yeah, no.
Like, okay, fine.
It's not the type of day.
See, but I'm the kind of person that can sit down and watch something like that anytime.
No.
Because I just like watching stuff so much that I'm like, oh yeah, 2-hour, 30-minute Korean film, like, let's go.
And I'm like, to sit still for 2 hours and 30 minutes in the middle of my day.
It's fine. I was fine with this choice. Plus, I mean, Nico didn't have any other very good suggestions as well either. Today he sent me a TikTok.
I thought I was doing really well. Let's premise it with that.
Yeah. Which, like, it was understandable.
The first one was like... Okay, so basically what happened was... I was on TikTok, as per usual, and this dude came up and he was like recommending a bunch of like Netflix movies. I was like, oh, perfect, we have our radio show tonight, like, we can watch one. And I sent it to Faith and we end up trying to figure out what to watch, and none of the movies that this dude recommended are actual movies.
They're completely
He made
fake.
them all up, and he has a whole TikTok channel about it.
Yeah.
Like, just making up movies. Like, the first one was some like comedy drama with Bruno Mars, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this looks amazing, and it's not even a thing. I knew it was too good to be true. There's no way I would have not seen something about a movie with Bruno Mars in it. How does that even happen? That's just rude. I was lied to today, and that's just set the mood. Like, the thing was that he had this guy who's making these TikToks, like, it did not seem like he was kidding at all. Yeah, no, he was, like, giving, like, background information on them. He made posters for all of them. Like, he put, like, the green screen effect or whatever and was talking over the poster. So, like, it seemed legit, but... That's why I said it was understandable. Whatever. Which I'm also not surprised, though, because we're looking up these... Well, like, when I first was looking at the TikTok, I was like, I've never seen either of those titles on Netflix. And, like, I'm someone who, like, since I watch so much, like, stuff on streaming services, like, I know when new stuff comes out on Netflix and, like, what upcoming things are coming out on Netflix. So I was like, that's really weird, but, like, I don't know, maybe they're just, like, older movies that I missed. Nope. And then... on the TikTok for the Bruno Mars one, it said, like, 2022, February 2022, and I was like, that's so weird. But, yeah. Psych. So, Faith had to come save the day, as usual, with her great knowledge. I thought I was doing really well. Like, I found, like, a good movie for us to watch, finally. But no, it's not even real.
Not even a real. It's not
Yeah,
even the fact that
it's
it
not-
wasn't
yeah.
on Netflix. It was completely made up.
What was one of them? It was like Spoon 2 or something like
Yeah.
that. We went like
Okay, that
deeper
one
into
was
his
ridiculous.
TikTok.
The one that you sent me was like believable, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the deeper we went, we were like, these are not real.
Yeah,
They
so
looked
if you're
ridiculous.
lying to people about movies on TikTok, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Screw that guy.
Right? What?
So mean.
I was really excited and proud of myself.
It's okay, it's okay.
And then I just get put in my place.
Yeah, it's usually what happens though.
So
But
anyways, let's talk about
anyways.
things that are real and
Yeah.
that you can actually
that
watch.
you can actually watch. So like I said, it was created by David Jenkins, but I'm not really familiar with his stuff in the past. But Taika Waititi also had like a hand in like writing, producing it, so that's why I was like, oh, this looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
He also directs the first episode too. But then you kind of like the cast I've seen before, so that kind of also intrigued me. So as like our main character, as Stede Bonnet, we have Rhys Darby. From the things that he's been in, from what I know, he was in Yes Man, which was a 2008 film with Jim Carrey in it, but I think he was a smaller role in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in a decent amount of stuff. He was in Jumanji: The Next Level. I think that's what I recognized him from.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the like the guy who like shows up in the car like when they first get there.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, welcome to
Oh,
Jumanji.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So he's been in a bunch of other stuff, just kind of like smaller things. Like I see, like he's been on The Simpsons. He's been in Bob's Burgers. So like he has a pretty good kind of resume in the film TV industry. Seems more like comedic. So, but he's from New Zealand. That's what his accent is. I was kind of trying to figure that out. But so he plays our main character, Stede Bonnet, and then the rest of the cast, it's kind of like an ensemble TV show, I guess. But if you watch it, you'll definitely recognize some people like
Hodor.
Yeah, there's the big guy who plays Hodor from Game of Thrones, completely different role that he plays in that. Like I said, Taika Waititi, probably seen. Nat Faxon, he's another comedian that I kind of recognize.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of like comedies.
Well, I didn't
as
even
well.
recognize him, honestly.
Yeah, it's the mouth and the teeth for me. He was in A League of Their Own.
Mm-hmm.
He's in, like, he did a lot for Robot Chicken, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, once again, another, like, comedian, like, very heavily based, comedic actor. And then, Leslie Jones is in it for one episode.
Well, for
actress
one
from-
episode. We've
yeah,
only
for
gotten
one
through
episode.
3.
Yeah, that's true. The actress from SNL, she was super funny. We haven't gotten to the episode yet, but I know Nick Kroll is in it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, if you just look at, like, all these actors have such, like, very distinct faces, so, like, even if you're like, I don't know what that person's from, but, like, you know them. You know who they, like, you've seen them before.
Goose Khan, wasn't he just in something that we watched?
Yeah, he was in The Bubble that we watched on Netflix.
yeah.
That was interesting.
That was funny.
And then, but yeah, Nick Kroll comes up and he does, like, he's the creator of Big Mouth, another series on Netflix. That's really funny. But yeah, they're all kind of, it's an ensemble of people you'll definitely recognize.
Yeah.
And they all just like bounce off each other.
100%.
But I mean, that's what an ensemble cast does.
Yeah. And they all have their own, like, role in the show.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So basically, Stede Bonnet, who's our, kind of main character, I guess, he's like this wealthy landowner, and he kind of just like ditches it all because he's like sick of like the boring life of, just like the same old, same old. And so he basically abandons his wife and family and buys a ship and like a crew to go become a pirate. But little does he know that, like being a pirate is like a very violent thing and it requires someone who's very tough, which he is definitely not.
Nope.
And so he decides to call himself the gentleman pirate. And like he said in the trailer, he's going to kill with kindness. So like the first episode we were cracking up because they were talking about like, what it means to be a pirate and what like symbols and whatever, and the one guy was like, they all have a flag, like a scary flag. And so Stede Bonnet comes out with a bunch of fabric and he's like, okay, we're gonna have a little sewing competition. And then he's like, just express yourselves, like, really let out your emotions. And then at the beginning, they were talking about, he was like giving a speech to his crew and he's like, it could get dangerous, some of us could get killed and wounded, and some of us will be, mentally, have like PTSD, and what do we do? What do we do if that happens? And they're all just kind of like staring at him. And the one
Keep
guy's
it
like,
inside.
Yeah, keep it inside. He's like, no, that's the last thing you
whitewashed, kind of.
Yeah.
They all kind of have, like, you can tell they all come from their own background, and they still have very strong accents, and, like, even the tapas joke is something that, like, it wouldn't apply if the character was very whitewashed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Well, they were, like, bringing it to a Spanish ship.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Yeah, that is a very diverse. I think film and TV is getting a lot better at that.
People are learning their lesson.
Yeah, because I mean, you think about like, what's the only other pirate thing I've really seen? Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah,
and like, you have Johnny Depp.
Jack Sparrow's just really tan.
Really.
That's what it is.
Knightley, Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
Kind of all, you know, your typical,
like,
high-end white actors. Not to say that I like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I think they're fun films. I enjoyed them as, like, I grew up on them. But then you have, like, you know, like, Penelope Cruz was in, like, one of the later ones, and she's, like, the typical, like, spicy Latina.
Yeah, right.
But this one's more of just, like, it's just, like, a bunch of funny people coming together to create a show.
That's exactly what it is.
So.
Yeah, the cast was perfect, I think. And it was a lot of big names, and they could pull it off very well.
Yeah.
So to start off, they started filming in June of 2021 and finished in September of 2021. And then it just got released this year?
In March, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's not too bad.
No.
And then I really wanted to look up to see if they were actually, like, filming on the ocean or how that worked.
That's what I was just gonna ask you.
I couldn't find anything. Like, it gave me, like, filming locations, and it, I know for a fact, like, a lot of the stuff was done in studio, because, like, the inside of the ship is, like, absolutely massive. Like, Stede has his room, and it's probably would have taken up, like, the whole inside of the ship because it looks so big. But that is filmed in the studio, and the studio was in Burbank, California, and they started filming...
Burbank, California? No way. That's so crazy.
And then there's, like, beach scenes that were filmed in Malibu. So I think the beaches were Topanga Beach, Zuma Beach, and I think they used those for 2 different scenes.
Yeah. I'm assuming that probably any of the, like, bigger water stuff, because, like, the backgrounds didn't necessarily look like they were, like, actually out in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
It's probably, like, a big kind of water set that they have.
But they filmed with an actual ship.
Well, yeah, you could put an actual ship in.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, it was a big ship.
Yeah,
they didn't have,
just,
like sections of a ship. Yeah, they were filming on an actual ship with like everything on it, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the only other thing I really had to talk about was the lighting, because it is outside, and it's very hard to light to make it look like it's outside on the ocean with, like, nothing above them.
That's
but
true.
They do a good job of making sure it looks bright enough, but not like too bright where you can't see anything. Which is got to be very difficult. I've been watching, like, a lot of cinematography stuff lately, just on, like, YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the conversation has to talk about, like, softening light. But in this case, you have to choose where you want the light to be soft and where you want the light to be harsh. And actually, I've noticed in the show that there's a couple times where they have, like, the flag waving, so the shadow will kind of come and go in their on their face, which makes it look like they are, like, really in the ocean, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. But yeah, overall the lighting is pretty soft. The costuming was very well done. I think each fits each character very well. You can kind of guess their personality based on the way that they're dressed, even though they are pirates. Like, they just kind of throw on clothes. But there is a little bit of something that adds to each character, I feel like.
Yeah, true. I'm just reading more about kind of, like, the setting and stuff, which I just saw that they took the, like, cast and department down to San Diego to look at the Master and Commander ship, which we've seen before. down in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bay. Yeah, downtown San Diego.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
To kind of like in preparation for like the set build, basically to kind of like base it off of something. But they said that kind of more just what I'm reading about it was that they really focused on like the set design, like just like the little things to make it really look like historic, so that you're not really paying attention to like the background that's probably not real.
Yeah, it's just like a blue sky.
Yeah. It says that so the deck of the Revenge, which is the ship that they have, it took up one of the largest stages at Warner Brothers, so that the camera could freely move from like one section to the other. So it does seem like it was like how you're saying
together.
it. No, like it was like an actual ship. But they needed like a really big stage so that they could go from like one end of the ship to the other.
Right.
And it's not like necessarily in pieces. It's all one, but it's just like you need a really big
area to fit a whole ship.
To fit a whole ship, and then to also be able to film around it
Right.
and on
Yeah,
it.
you need to put other stuff.
Yeah. It says that they also had a massive LED screen capable of projecting 2D and 2.5 dimension images that allowed them to utilize virtual backdrops in place of more traditional screens.
Gotcha.
Which is
so
kind of
like a
Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
Which is kind of funny because I was just about to say that when you were talking about like the soft lighting and like making it look outside, that the show kind of reminded me of like the Truman Show. That movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it's like he's like technically in a dome and like everything's like, I mean, I don't know if they filmed inside necessarily, but it has that like fake kind of cartoonish look to it.
Yeah, it's like the
still,
sky is too perfect almost.
Yeah, but it's still like supposed to come off as real, even though it's like we know it's all not.
Yeah.
So that's what it kind of, reminded me of. But the attention to detail in all of the kind of like different rooms and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean they have like multiple ships and stuff too, so it's not like, well, I mean they built the main ship and then the rest I'm sure are all kind of like subsets.
Yeah.
Which is still crazy because that's a big set.
Yeah. Yeah. But very much kind of gave off that like Truman Show vibes.
Yeah, you're right. The colors too.
Yeah, definitely. Or it's like everything seems fake, but like it's not supposed to be fake.
Right.
Which I like though. It really helps play into like the comedy aspect of it, because you're not like, because if you get too into like the historic details and all that, then it becomes like more about that than necessarily like the comedy. Whereas they just kind of took like this like story about this guy and then just kind of like made it into like a quirky, funny,
They kind of flipped
series.
the script a little bit and added some characters to it.
Yeah, and added some characters to it.
They're just like, who are some comedians we can toss on this show to make it funnier?
Yeah. They even have like his scribe, I guess, that like records everything, is like clearly this gay man too, that's like under the radar kind of, he makes a joke about beards in the one episode. That was really funny.
I just thought it was funny anytime Stede goes somewhere that like normally you would get like a picture taken or something, he asks his scribe to like start drawing him. They end up next to like, it's like a skeleton holding a sign. It's like a beware sign kind of thing, and him and like the hostage that they have, he goes to his scribe and is like, hey, like start drawing us in front of this sign.
Which would probably take forever. They're probably like standing there for like a solid hour. They're like, okay, now we can go in.
It's just stick figures.
Just kind of like dumb comedy. Like it was a good combination of just like dumb comedy, but also like throwing in like jokes that actually, have like a pun like that, that like hit in like a different kind of way than just like someone, falling overboard, something stupid like that. Or
right.
like him trying to climb down the, like, they go over a ladder over the side of the
little
ship.
fisherman's
The
boat.
little fisherman's boat that they, like, raid. And I put that in quotation marks. And he's, like, hardcore struggling to get down this, like, ladder. It's, like, swinging all over the place.
And then he asks the fishermen on the boat that he's about to take over if they can hold the ladder so he can get to the bottom.
Yeah. It's like a combination of, like, kind of, like, physical comedy like that, where it's, like, you're actually, like, acting something stupid out, and then, like, actual jokes, kind of like that beard joke.
Yeah.
That is kind of like an actual, you know, someone had to, like,
you have
think
to think
about that
it.
and write that into the script kind of thing.
But yeah, I think overall it's a really good show to just kind of like hang out and watch.
Yeah.
It's nothing too serious.
No,
It's
not
nothing
at all.
very dramatic, but you will enjoy it and you can keep watching it. I feel like that's hard, at least for me, to find a show like that. Where like it's one of those things where it's like it's not like the biggest cliffhanger after each episode, but you watch it because you enjoy it.
And there is kind of like a through plot line.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
That, like, you keep watching to, like, find out more and more.
Right.
Because, like, throughout the first couple episodes, they keep hinting at, like, oh, this Blackbeard character. So you kind of keep watching to be like, oh, well, what's that whole dynamic about?
Yeah.
And now that he's kind of in it, now it's like, okay, now what is this, like, relationship between them going to be like? Sort of, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Yeah.
What would you give it so far?
Couch rating?
Yeah.
I think so far I'd give it like a 7 couches. 7
Yeah,
out of
I was
10.
gonna say
I feel
7,
like we
7
haven't
and a
gotten
half.
to like
Yeah.
the really
I
good
feel like
part
there's
of
a
it.
lot of room for it to grow.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely got through like, cause
We got through a decent amount of like the beginning stages.
Yeah.
Like we have good character introductions so far. We have kind of the plot lines starting to stir up.
yeah, we got completely through the first 3 episodes and then partly through the 4th episode. But the 4th episode is when we finally meet Blackbeard.
Yeah, and kind of see what he's about.
Yeah, so I feel like we started watching that episode, and that's kind of when it got, like, really into what the show's about. Whereas the first 3 episodes, they were funny, of course.
Yeah.
But you kind of needed that in order to, like...
Yeah, it was almost like side missions to establish character
To establish that they're
personalities
really
and-
bad
yeah.
pirates.
Basically.
That they suck at pirating.
Yeah.
And there's also, like, some, like, flashbacks
Mhm.
for, like, in Stede's, like, his, like, life that kind of, like, explains why he is a pirate now,
Yeah.
why he did what he did. But even that has, like, comedy in it.
Yeah, right.
His, like, wife presents him with, like, an anniversary painting of the, like, lighthouse that they got married next to, and he's like, what is it? And she's like, you know, like, where we got married. And he's like, oh, that's so pretty. Did the kids draw it? And she's like, no, I painted it. He's like, oh, okay. Like, it's just, like, that awkward, like, cringy humor. So we kind of get, like, it's not just, like, here's this guy that decided to become a pirate, and, like, you're just, like, that's the information you're given.
Right.
You kind of get a little bit of,
Of
like,
a
backstory
backstory,
and stuff.
yeah.
But it's, like, comedic backstory.
Yeah. The backstory will probably keep coming. It's like in little flashbacks of like 1-minute scenes type of thing.
Yeah, they don't take up
Yeah.
a lot of the show,
Mhm.
so...
But yeah, I enjoy it so far. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the rest of it. So you guys should definitely check it out.
What would you rate it? You didn't give your couch rating?
I said 7.5.
Agree.
Probably around
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it's gonna get better. So I don't want to give it too high of a rating.
Yeah.
And then it get better, and then I don't want to go any higher. So there's a little room for
There's a
buffer.
little wiggle room.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. That's our synopsis on what was it called?
Our
The
flag
title
means
is
death.
so long. Our flag means death.
It is kind of a long title.
I know. I was doing research and I'd have to type in like 10 words just to find
Yeah.
out what the show was.
Also, like, I hope I don't know if there's, like, a little bit, if that's just, like, the title they decided on, but I feel like the title doesn't really, like, make sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's coming. It's got to get there first.
Which, I mean, like, there was, like, the joke, like, the first episode.
Right, they're making
They're
flags
making
and-
flags, and then, like, they end up using, like, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They don't just have one. So shouldn't it actually be our flags?
Well, who knows? Maybe they vote on one.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, maybe we'll figure out why it's...
We're not very far. I don't think we can.
We're really not very... We're far enough to know that, like, I would recommend it.
Yes.
Because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun show to watch when you have downtime.
Yeah, but the main plot line is yet to come.
Yeah. I really want to dig deeper and see if these TikTok theories are right.
Or if the show's just fake.
People are just making it up. Like, people are just implying that they fall in love. They're like, it's not actually a gay
Wouldn't be
comedy.
Surprised.
But, like,
TikTok
that'd be kind of cool if it was a gay comedy about pirates. I would definitely recommend it even more. Just because... That's so unique. Like, who's ever done that?
Yeah.
No, like, I've never heard of that before.
Yep.
Which I think kind of goes, like, if it did, which it might not, like, directly come out and say it. It might be, like, more like an implied thing.
Yeah.
But I think that goes along with, like, the diversity of the cast and just, like...
I was thinking the same thing.
Overall atmosphere of the show. So,
yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know if you watch it, though.
Yeah. Well, you got to get to class soon.
Yep.
So we're going to sign off here. The show is a little shorter than usual, but that's okay because it was like, this is a quick show. Each episode is about 30
Yeah,
minutes.
that's the other thing. It's nice because it's only 30 minutes long.
Yeah. You're able to get through a couple in a short period of time. But then also, if you don't have a long time, you can get at least an episode in.
Right,
so.
right. Sweet. All right. Well, it is now almost 6 o'clock, which means our time here is up. We hope you enjoyed our discussion of this show as much as we enjoyed sharing it with you.
If you end up watching the title that we picked today, let us know by putting your thoughts in the comment section of our YouTube videos and subscribe for more binge-worthy radio content.
Yeah, so don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. We have one video up right now. The next one's coming soon.
I'm going to work on it tonight. Which I need your help, actually.
Uh-oh.
See, this is what happens when I'm not good at editing.
And when I'm busy with editing.
I can't execute. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
The second one will be on YouTube soon. But in the meantime, watch the first one.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like an hour long, so I mean.
Yeah. Split it up.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
There you go.
Make some popcorn.
Yeah.
And listen to us talk.
Song.
It is good.
All right. We'll let this play us out then.
Yep.
So until next time, keep binging and BingWorthy Radio. We'll be back next Tuesday at 5 o'clock only here on WJMU 89.5 The Quad.
Bye.
Bye.